we're just going to be focusing on these two shots here. This pendant and a cross here. Alright, now first of all, we want to get rid of the green. So select color range, and you can select the color there. And you want to turn it up so you see how this stuff is coming brighter. You want your actual thing you want to save to be dark as possible. So we're going to threshold it down to right about there. And of course you can add some more so it looks a little better. You can turn the threshold, I think it was at 64. Okay, now we're going to click OK on that. And you can see you got the shadow, which we can easily remove with the eraser tool, which we'll use anyway. We're going to go before that, we're going to go select, modify, expand by 2 pixels. Let's try it again. That's the first time. Alright, go ahead and let's do it again. Let's just go ahead and select, modify, expand by 2 pixels, and then select, modify, feather. I'm just going to do 1 pixel. And now we're going to go ahead and select inverse, Control-Shift-I, or choose the menu commands. Copy and paste this, and you'll see a new layer, which of course I already have this layer right here, layer 1. So we have, if we turn off the background and we show the foreground here, that's the actual picture. That's after I went through and erased as well. Just zoom in as much as you can and just use your eraser tool. Don't do too hard. You want to use a very low percent on the hardness so that when you are erasing, you're just kind of taking out just the edges of it like that. And of course, you need to use a smaller one for the insides and whatnot. I gotta get to it on inside here, over here. So once you get that done, we're ready to continue to the other part of it. And as you can see, of course, almost all the green is gone out of the picture. You can still see some green in it because I didn't have the best green screen. But we're going to go ahead and take this and make it a new picture. Take just the parts that I want here. Okay, if you do Control N or Option N, you can make a new picture here, and we'll just Control V that into there, or paste it. And then we're going to rotate this image. Let's do arbitrarily, I think I did a 55 clockwise, was about right. There we go. Alright, so Control T, or you can do Edit Free Transform. The 2 solids checked down here. And then I'm going to hold down the Shift button, of course, to make sure that this proportions stay. Put you like right about there. Move you to here. And of course, we're going to do it Control Shift N to make a new background. And then we're going to just go back to this first layer here and duplicate the layer. So we're going to go ahead and duplicate this layer. Go for it. Flip vertical. There we go. And of course, again, move it down to where you need it to be. And like as before, we're going to add the vector mask to this layer. Make sure it is selected. and get your gradient tool out and have some fun. Just to see, press shift of course to make the line straight. And there we go. Ignore that Facebook message. Now we're going to go ahead and fill the background with black. As you can see, it's still pretty prevalent there in the picture. Versus if we were to do, say, on a white background. But you can still, while on that layer, go back to it. Of course, make sure you select the layer twice here to click on the layer itself, and then click on the vector as well, and then just see if you can make it a little bit better for you, or however you like it, how you want to see it. So on the white background it'll look like that, on the black background it'll look a bit more like that. And of course if you wanted to change it just a little more, you can of course always select the vector layer first, like I mentioned. Go up a little higher, however much you want to see, or start lower and go up and just see very little of it. See, the higher you go, the less you can see, and then of course if you went back to the white background, you wouldn't be able to see nearly as much. If I see anything at all, but if I remove the background completely, you would hardly see it as well. But on that black background, that's where you would see it. And that's just because it's black background and it shows a lot more than usual. And of course, when you're finished with this, you would need to crop the image to your liking. I'll put that off right about there. There's a piece of jewelry. And I usually say these things somewhere. Again, this is from photo shoot 1. We're going to go to a final PST file and call this close-up medallion 1. Alright, and you say if you wanted to save it with no background, we're going to go ahead and change it back to a white background actually before this. And we're going to change the options here. So we can see a bit more of it. There we go. And then we'll remove the background from there. And Control-Shift-S is how to save as a different file. And then we're going to save this thing as a PNG. Or you can save as a GIF. We'll save it as a GIF this time. And this will do the same thing. The background will of course be see-through, as we see here. And that's the second picture we want to be using. Go ahead and save that. Yes, to save this is now this part here. I don't think I should. Let's try this again. Like I said, use the little plus tool here to get some extra spots that we may have missed. We're going to go up to, I think, 70. That looks much better. And of course, same as before, select, modify, expand by 2 pixels. You need 1, you need 2, depending on how bad the picture shot is. And then feather, 1 or 2. Then of course select the inverse layer, copy and paste it, and you should end up with this. Pretty picture all the way around. Sounds like too much editing to it, but then we're going to go ahead and I wanted to get a good picture of the crops itself. Just a little bit more, so we're going to give more playing room. Copy that, Control N or Option N. Alright, paste this to here. Alright, Control T to transform it while holding the Shift key, of course. And let's go ahead and make it center like that as well, instead of guessing this time. Alright, now we can get rid of a few things that we don't want. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to get rid of those items. I'm going to just throw you up top of here. Same as before, Control Shift N for the background layer. And then we're going to select the layer 1. So people stop texting me, would be great. Layer 1, duplicate layer. Of course, background, put that at the bottom. Layer 1, select it. and edit. Transform, flip vertically. We're going to move you down just same as before. As you can see, it's not completely straight, but it will do for now. And since the person I'm making this video for does use white backgrounds, we're going to make this a white background. So, just like before, layer 1 copy. You want to add the vector mask to it. Select the vector mask. Get your gradient tool out and set it right about that. Maybe, I'm not sure. You can, depending on how much you want on there. We'll go in this. Something similar like that right there for right now. There we go. That'll work for right now. It'll be very, very bright on a dark layer though, like a blue or a black. Study that mirror effect, so we'll go back to white, just because the person who's doing this forward uses white. Now, of course, again, we're going to go ahead and crop it to our liking. Now we can Control Shift S to save this. But we're going to go to shot 2, find my PSD, and we'll spell this close up. And then Control Shift S again to save as a GIF. Alright, there's our GIF file saved, and we're going to save it as a PNG.